Hello and welcome to your 64th SQL Server tutorial. My name is Johnny DeLuca and tonight I want to talk to you about parameterizing stored procedures, and I want to show you how to alter a stored procedure to add parameters. Okay, so to begin, kind of in a similar fashion to functions, stored procedures can include parameters as part of their code. Creating a stored procedure with parameters allows the calling programs to pass values into the procedure. Parameters in stored procedures differ from those in functions in that you can specify direction, whether it is an input or output parameter. So basically what I mean by that is you can specify whether the parameter will accept the value being input or whether it will return a value being output. You can use the output parameters to assign a value produced by a stored procedure directly to a variable or an application in an execution context. Additionally, stored procedures have the optional and default parameters just like functions, and I already went over that. How and what you assign to the values is slightly different though, but the meanings and how they are syntactically specified are exactly the same. If your stored procedure contains a default parameter, unlike with a function, you are not required to supply the default keyword. And again, I went over that in a previous tutorial, so if you need to review that, feel free to do so. If you simply execute the stored procedure using the exec keyword, the assigned value will be used at runtime. The same applies if you include an optional parameter. As a rule of thumb, it's recommended that you specify each parameter name and assign a value to each. This ensures that you are assigning the correct value to the appropriate parameter, just like in this dummy example right here. Okay, so and in that example, it includes an input, default, and optional parameter. To protect against any misalignment of values and parameters, each parameter is specified with a corresponding value. As I've mentioned before, in addition to the types of parameters that functions and stored procedures share, stored procedures also can change the direction of a parameter to output. This means that instead of assigning a value to the parameter when the stored procedure is executed, a value will be returned and can be assessed via that parameter. Now, I've got a little example here. So in the first part of this block of code, a stored procedure is created that has a single output parameter. The output parameter includes the output keyword. You see right there. The stored procedure contains a single T-SQL statement that assigns 10 to the parameter. You can see that here. In the second part of the code, a variable is declared that will hold the value of the output parameter. The exec keyword is used to execute the stored procedure, and in addition, the declared variable is specified including the output keyword. Finally, we have a select statement that's issued to display the value of the output. See, we have our execute, declaring the variable, there's our select statement. Okay, so now let's take a look at how to do this in Management Studio. I'm going to go, might as well copy this, the code that we're going to use to start with. So copy this guy. Now we're going to go over to Management Studio, and you're going to go over to Object Explorer if it's not open, connect to an instance, then we're going to expand our databases folder. We're expanding VentureWorks 2012. We're expanding programmability. We're expanding stored procedures, and now we're looking for VBO.purchase order information. Oh, very first one right here. We are going to right click it and we're going to modify, and then we have the auto populated bit of code that comes up. Now we're going to go over to new query though, and we're going to paste in that bit of code that I just grabbed from my Word doc. Now, in this block here, two parameters are specified, input and default. At the end of the query, a where clause right here, you see, what is included that limits the result based on the values of the two parameters. So let's execute. Okay, command's completed successfully. Now, what we want to do is we're going to open another query window, and I'm going back over here, and I want to grab this little 3-liner. Okay, as you can see, I'll wait until we get back over here. Paste this in using eventuals 2012. We're executing the DDO.purchase order information, employee ID 258. Okay, so only the input parameter has been specified, which is fine because the other parameter has a default value. Now, while the query will succeed as a best practice, you should always specify a value for all parameters. Okay, so, yep, see, it succeeded. Now, but a little bit better, let's go back over, and I could just type this in, but whatever. We're just adding to that. At order year equals 2006. Gonna copy this guy. Just get rid of that guy, paste that guy in. Boom. Oh, and then let's see, check out the difference there. So, this is only a subset of the actual data set that is returned, but the thing to pay attention to is that the year for every order date is 2006, just as specified there. So, now you are a rock star when it comes to altering a stored procedure to add parameters. So thank you for checking out this tutorial. I'm not sure what I'll be covering in my next tutorial, but it'll be good, so don't miss it.